Good morning, everyone. This is Lydia from Dragonfly Gardens, and it's time for a weekly garden tour and to see so much growth, what is going on. But let's get started with the tomato bed. So the tomatoes have really shot up a lot. The sunflower there on the end, I cannot wait till it blooms. But none of the tomatoes have turned red yet. Of course, it has been over 85 degrees, and they really truly don't like that temperature. I keep checking to see if they get any blossom end rot or anything like that. It's pretty great. The cucumber plant has lots of blossoms, which is very exciting. I'm so glad about that, and it's trellising up very well. The other tomato plant is growing. I hope the cucumber does not shadow it out, so I need to make sure that does not happen. And the other sunflower seed. I'm gonna pull this cabbage out and plant some more holy basil there, but the beets are not doing super great because it's too hot. The Spilanthes beets, that is, I thought I saw a Spilanthes flower bloom, but maybe not the other day. The sage is doing well. Marigolds. On this side of the bed, the thyme is doing very well. The sunflower, tomato plant. Like I said, the cucumbers blossoms are growing, so hopefully I'll have some baby cucumbers soon. The tomato plant is just like awesome. And there's so many tomatoes on there. There's like some in there, some in there, some up in there. So the holy basil is probably shadowed out. That's why I'm going to plant some on the other side. The clary sage. It's all going to come up though eventually. When it comes to the herb garden, I'm not going to go over all the different herbs like I did last week, but this milk thistle is doing exceptionally well, and that is just one of my prize herbs this time around. And the comfrey, I did take 3 big leaves off to dehydrate. I want to make some oil with the comfrey, and so excited to have the anise pop up. Here on the end, the motherwort has started to blossom, which is very exciting. And I did chop down a bunch of this bee balm, not lemon balm like I said last week, but bee balm. I'm going to dehydrate, and I'm also going to dehydrate this lemon balm. The blackberries are just filled with tons and tons of berries. I need to put a clip around the base of them, of the ones that has the berries on them, because every other year they produce fruit, so that way I can trim those back and new shoots will come up, or canes. But they are just like growing so great, which is so awesome. Over here, the raspberries are also doing very well. They probably will have maybe a little bit of fruit on them, but not a lot. They, again, raspberries and blueberries, I think they like shaded areas. So that's why I put them in this part of my yard, which really truly I didn't have anywhere else to put them. And then of course the grapes are doing very well. There is my little basket of my herb harvest. The bachelor buttons. Here with the squash and peppers, they are doing extremely well. That yellow leaf is probably because a squash vine borer bug has got in there, which is very upsetting. However, this butternut is doing extremely well. So one of my mentor teachers said that butternuts will continue to grow even though if some stems are attacked. Like you can see that one is completely died out, but my sunflower is doing really great. It's the tallest one I have at the moment. And we have carrots down in here, which I'm waiting to go to seed. All kinds of other goodness stuff. You can see some squash blossoms in there. I got some peppers on the other sunflower plant. This is like why you need so much space to grow squash, because, or watermelons, any type of that type. Even in containers, they just like to vine out and take over an area. But it is all doing super great. Lots of production going on. This one here is an example of where the bloom did not get pollinated and it just dies off. So I'm hoping that things are being pollinated like they should. Oh, I see a bee in there. Yay! So they're getting pollinated. I'm so excited. That's a very good sign. I needed to see that today. Again, here's another yellow leaf, which is very disappointing. Peppers. All kinds of good stuff in here. Lots of blossoms over here on the zucchini, which are still very green and lush. So I'm very, very happy about that. You can see peppers in there, which is very cool. So here in the bean bed, I'm like happy and disappointed. Very happy that I have lots of beans coming up. That's an okra there against the edge. Beans. The cats kept getting in here, even though I kept spraying the stuff. There's my cucumber. Back in the corner there is the eggplant. So I planted a lot more seeds out today, and put pine straw very, very thick. So hopefully that will keep the cats out, or if they do get in here, they won't like tear up my beans. The Hubbard squash plant is doing extremely well, and I'm going to also harvest some of the still over here. Caterpillars have been feasting on it, but it's also getting ready to turn seed for some of it. Dill is also more of a cool weather crop, but I need to harvest some for when I make pickles. The onions are doing very well, which is very good, and it's not really time to pull those up because they still have a lot of green, and I've been watering. It rained some last night, but they're just doing extremely well. So in front of the house, I have Sweet Williams. In this pot where I planted the blue flax and the Shasta daisies, I just think it just had really, truly poor quality dirt. I didn't really add in some good compost on top, and next year I will. So those pots probably will stay empty. But I did find out that the forget-me-nots are a biannual, so they will not bloom this year. They will bloom next year, which will be nice. The floricolic mix, all the other wildflowers, daisies, a butterfly, just all doing extremely well. The purple flower is a lupine, which is also a neat thing about doing wildflower mixes. You never know what you're going to get. So I'm really excited about this. And of course, I don't have a flower blossom of the morning glories, but they have blossomed out. So over here in my makeshift bed, more and more flowers are coming up, which is really awesome. These really taller ones must be sunflowers, which is really cool. I gotta get that grass out of there. So I'm excited with the progress of this. So up here on my big porch, the garlic is doing really well. It's still not time to pull them. They got a lot more growth to do on them. So we're taking care of those. Over here too. And so hopefully they'll grow into big bulbs. And then I gotta save some to plant in November. Thanks so much for watching and checking to see the growth out in my little garden area, in my little yard. But also thank you so much for your likes and your subscriptions and everything. And this is Horry County, South Carolina, Zone 8B, and it is already like probably 80 degrees. Thank you so much. Have a great day.